guest is best known for her role as Britta Beach on Riverdale, and I feel so lucky to call her one of my close friends and inspirations. Please welcome to the Zoom, Kyra Leroux.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am so excited for this episode.
Me too, that we're finally doing this.
I know. I feel like we have so much to talk about.
Do, always.
Yes. Okay, so first I want to start off with how we met, and I want to hear both sides of the story. So you go first.
Okay. So me and Julia, we first met doing J-Team here in Vancouver, where I live. It's a Nickelodeon movie on Paramount Plus. If you're watching Julia's video, you probably know all about it. In terms of like how, like the day that we actually met.
Yeah.
I feel like I actually remember this. Okay, so we were at rehearsal for J-Team, and we had already been rehearsing for like a week, but you guys were still in quarantine.
Yeah.
So the girls from LA, so like you, Kiara Carrington, and then JoJo, we're all still in quarantine, and it was like a Monday, and it was like gonna be your first day. So we had already learned all of the choreography. The only thing that we needed to do was like put you guys into it, and like rehearse all together. So I remember you got there and we like met, and you told me you were playing Nina, like all this stuff, and we got to talking, and I don't know, like my first memory that I have of like us two where I was like, okay, we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
During lunchtime.
Yes, I remember that.
And everybody else, like we had to stay 6 feet apart because of COVID. So there was for some reason, like there was already too many people on like the ground floor and in one of the studios. So like you and I went up to a different dance studio on our own, kind of like because we had to. And so we just like sat down on like the dance studio floor, and we just started talking about musical theater, and like about our favorite shows, and I don't know, we just clicked. Like I was like, I'm gonna be friends with this girl.
So I was in quarantine when I got the cast list. When I got to Canada, I only knew obviously that JoJo was cast, and then Carrington and Kiara, because we traveled together. Yeah. But I didn't even know that Tisha was a part of it. I had no idea who else was in the cast.
When you were traveling, you didn't even know?
Nope, I didn't know until we got sent that cast list literally the day before the first rehearsal.
Dang. I guess I didn't know either, I guess. Well, I mean, I knew because of rehearsals, but I wouldn't have known you or Kiara or Carrington. But anyway.
Yeah. And I can see myself sitting on my bed in our hotel in quarantine and getting sent the cast list and just immediately like looking all of you guys up.
Yes, right. IMDb, Instagram, like.
Yeah. And when I saw that Kiara was a dirty candy, I started freaking out. For those of you who don't know, Kiara is the blue dirty candy on Julie and the Phantoms, which is one of my favorite shows, the blue dirty candy. And I was like, Mom, I'm gonna meet a dirty candy.
Oh my God.
I was so excited.
And then the first day that we met, we fully talked about, you're probably gonna just like say this right now, but we fully talked about it like you had no idea.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna come on, I feel like we all do that.
Yes.
Like, you obviously stalk the person, you know all their IMDb credits, you know everything, and you're like, oh my God, wait, you were on Julie and the Phantoms? No way.
Yeah. Like pretend they did, you know.
Yeah, I didn't want to be like a stalker. I didn't want to scare her off on the first day. When we were sitting in that room having lunch, we both played dumb. Like we both were like, oh my God, you did theater? No way. Yeah.
You did musical. I had no idea. Not that I looked up your Instagram and your IMDb all beforehand and learned everything there is to know about you.
Exactly. I was thinking about this. We really didn't get to spend much time with each other on set because we're literally not in anything together in the movie.
Nope, literally just that one scene. The J-Team comes in at the very first competition, and you guys are all there like looking us up and down.
Yeah.
And Kenya says, no, because we're the J-Team.
Yeah, that was so hard not to laugh for me because I was trying to like glare at all of you.
I know. And we were all just so happy to be together.
I know. You took me to Granville Island on one of our days off.
Yes, we did like 2 hangouts, and we couldn't do much because of COVID. Like it would have been so much fun to have like sleepovers after Friday
I
night,
know. Oh, I know.
all that stuff. But anyway, sequel.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We went to the art gallery.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah,
Maya
we did do
and
that.
Kenya.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Okay, for the viewers, anytime I talk about something and Julie doesn't know what it is, like it literally could be anything, like things that most people know or things that I think most people know. Julia will be like, "Wait, is that a Canadian thing?"
Yeah. What are some examples? That dress thing you were telling me about
In a show that I'm in, wonder which one. I have to wear a pinafore.
A pinafore. Okay.
See,
down below if you know what a pinafore is.
comment
Because
below.
I don't feel like that's a common term. I was gonna say you've added a lot of words to my vocabulary.
There we go. Learning new things every day. Do you know what is Canadian though?
What?
Today is Canadian Thanksgiving.
Oh, so what
Happy
are the
Thanksgiving,
traditions?
Julia.
Happy Thanksgiving. What do you guys do?
The same thing as you, just a different day.
Look at that. You're spending your Canadian Thanksgiving with me. Oh,
I'm thankful for you.
oh, I'm thankful for you. What has your whole quarantine experience been like, starting from like the beginning? Okay, what were you doing right before the shutdown back in March 2020? And what has your whole pandemic experience been?
That's a really good question because my life has completely changed. Completely. So before COVID, so let's say like February 2020, I was in high school. I was in grade 12. In like regular public school, normal human school. Unlike Julia, who was homeschooled. I was in school, graduating. I thought that it was like my senior year, like so awesome.
Yeah.
I was like deciding what to do with the next, year of my life, like whether I was going to go to school or not. I actually decided before COVID was a thing that I was going to take a gap year to focus on TV and film because I got really good grades in school. So like I could have gone to university if I wanted to. So for me, it was like, do I go to university like for academics, like go into sciences or something? Or do I continue like with what I'm doing with acting and like, keep the momentum going in my career and see where it takes me? I wouldn't have gone to university probably for acting just because like I was already building relationships with casting in Vancouver and I wanted to keep that up rather than start ground zero again.
Yeah.
When I came out of university. Anyway, so made that choice to take a gap year. It was almost spring break and I was in French immersion, which means that I like took basically most classes I took in French. So like it was like full like French school.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. So over spring break, I was supposed to go to Africa. I was supposed to go on a trip to Senegal.
Wow.
Which is like a French speaking country in Africa.
Uh-huh.
To volunteer in like this orphanage and a women's shelter and go and like learn the culture and like stay in this kind of like academic compound.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like this huge trip.
Yeah.
And 11 days before our flight, the trip got canceled.
Oh my God.
And that was the first thing that COVID affected.
That's crazy. So were you doing acting classes? Like, were you keeping the passion alive in the training or?
Yeah, I definitely was in acting class. I was in acting class over Zoom through all this period. Yep. And then in like probably at the end of August or the beginning of September of 2020, that's when the industry opened up in Vancouver and we started having auditions again. So I started auditioning. I booked my first thing in COVID, which was Schmigadoon. This is a funny story. I was auditioning lots during that time. And the night before my first day on Schmigadoon, I think it was a Wednesday night, and I was on set Thursday and Friday for Schmigadoon. Wednesday evening, I got a self-tape request for Riverdale. Okay, here, hi Kyra, you have a self-tape request. This is for the CW series Riverdale, episode 506. That's all, episode 6 of season 5, Back to School, for the role of various students.
Wait, what?
They're attached. So they were looking for like just a group of new students at Riverdale. That's all they were looking for.
Wow.
Students at Riverdale. Males should read the sides for David Archer and Jose. Females should read the sides for Britta and Bold Student. So literally every single person who auditioned for, every single female who auditioned for various students in this random episode of Riverdale. So like literally everybody in Vancouver would have auditioned for Britta and then read the lines for Bold Student. So it's literally, literally 2 scenes with 1 line each. It was the night before Schmigadoon and it was due Friday. So like it was Wednesday night. I was on set for Schmigadoon Thursday, Friday, and it was due on Friday. So I had no time to do it. I looked at my email and I was like, I have to do this right now. If I didn't do it Wednesday night, I would have to do it when I got home from set.
No.
Who knows when you're going to get home from set? It could be an 8-hour day. It could be a 16-hour day. You never know. So I was like, I have to do this right now.
Yep.
So I called James. Came over right away. I literally, not even kidding, looked at the sides and we put it on tape and I sent it in.
So you didn't get coached?
I didn't get coached. I hardly even memorized my lines. Like I literally just looked at my line and I was like, okay, let's do the scene. I made a decision about like what I kind of felt like what kind of energy I felt like the character had.
So maybe I'm spending too much time and effort for my self-tapes. Maybe that's the problem.
Sent it in. I completely forgot about it because I was doing Schmigadoon. Like I didn't need another role. I had Schmigadoon. So I was doing that. 3 weeks later, I had completely forgotten about this random, it felt like an open call basically for Riverdale. And 3 weeks later, my agent calls me and is like, you're on hold for Britta. Not to mention the fact that in the sides, oh my God, wait, I need to find it again. Interior, Riverdale High, shop class garage day. Archie stands next to Betty, surveying the students working on various projects. He wants to play football for the Bulldogs. No one at first. Then a welder's mask wearing student turns and raises a hand. Awesome. 1 more is all I needed. What's your name, bro? The mask wearing student raises their mask. She's a tall girl with blonde hair and a wide smile. Britta Lancaster. That was my name at first, Britta Lancaster. I'm Britta. Is that cool? As long as you don't mind playing both sides of the ball, Britta. And that's my team. That's my first scene.
When you saw that description.
When I saw that description, I was like, they want someone I'm 5'3". They want someone who's tall, slender, athletic looking. When I read that description, I was like, okay, they have a very specific idea of who they want in their head, you know, like the girl who looks like she could be athletic, but actually looks like a model, you know? And I don't look like that. Like I have a very normal body type and I'm short.
I think that's such an amazing lesson. It was a role that was supposed to be what, like 2 lines, and now you are a main part of the story in how many episodes? Like that's crazy. You have no idea what any audition could turn into. Like there's no way that you could have ever imagined that you'd be where you are now with the show.
No, when I booked it, I knew that I was going to be in episode 6, and I was told that I would maybe be in episode 9 as well. So I thought it was going to be 2 episodes. I'd get this little football storyline and then I'd be done. So 3 weeks later, I'm doing Schmigadoon still. I get this call from my agent saying I'm on hold for Britta. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. And then I think it was a week later, maybe. So this is a whole month after I auditioned. I found out that I got the role.
You only did that one self-tape. You never had a callback or...
Never had a callback, anything. I think part of the reason I got it is because I've been auditioning for these casting directors for a really long time. They know me. It's not just that one audition. It's that audition plus every single audition I've done before then. I've proven that I can handle this kind of role. they probably didn't even know that it was going to turn into what it turned into.
Yeah.
The reason they brought me back is because I was prepared
Right.
when I got to set, and I was like nice to people, I guess.
Well, I think that's another really, really great takeaway. Every audition where you don't get the part, it's not a setback or a failure. Because, like you said, if you didn't have a relationship with the casting directors and if they hadn't seen your consistent work,
Yeah,
they wouldn't have pushed for you.
it's true. I'm a big believer too in like, and I feel like Amber talks about this of like putting your heart into every role that you play, because if you put a little piece of your heart into the character that you're playing, maybe you won't get the role that you're auditioning for because you're not similar enough to the character. But that type of character was never going to be yours anyway. The characters that you are going to book are the ones where they have a piece of your heart in them already. And so if you put a little piece of yourself, your heart, your true essence being into every character that you play, casting will see that and they'll recognize when the part is right for you.
Yeah, or they could call you in for a different role in the same project.
Well, I mean, it happened to both of us for the J team.
We both auditioned for the Rubies.
Both auditioned for the Rubies first.
I forgot about that.
7 auditions. The most grueling audition process I've ever been through. I also have, oh my God, a really good story about, I'm in between 2 shows right now, Riverdale and this other Netflix show. I posted on my story the other day. It was actually so funny. I posted on my story a video of my trailer, and I was like, I want to have for a new project. Like, can you guess what it is? And the hint was, I just finished watching season 1 on Netflix. So literally everybody responded, Squid Game.
Oh no.
And I'm pretty sure most people were joking, but definitely some people were serious.
Have you seen it?
I am in the middle of season 1. Like it's like a human experiment basically, and I love stuff like that. Like looking into like the psychology of why people do what they do, and it's that so much of Squid Game is that. I auditioned for one of the lead roles in this series, the younger version of a character where they go back and forth between them. I auditioned for that character. I didn't get it. I auditioned for another character in season 1, a mean girl character in the high school. I was their first choice for it. They contacted my agents being like, yeah, like we want Kyra for this, but we just have to check availability. And the first day of shooting for that show was my last day of shooting for Julie and the Phantoms.
Oh, the problems of being booked and blessed.
But this was before any of like my like current success. This was before anything. So like this was just when I was filming Julie and the Phantoms. Like this is like early career. And it's still early career right now, but like very early.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't move the scene, they wouldn't reschedule it. I didn't get the role. And I was devastated because I was like, oh my God, like if they had only just like moved that one scene, like I could have done it, or like I could have like gone back and forth, like I could have I couldn't watch that show. I don't know when it came out, probably 2020 sometime. 2 years later after that audition, or like that role that I almost booked, like so close and then didn't. 2 years later, I book a 5-episode recurring on that.
I just got chills. I literally just got chills. It
just goes to show like everything happens for a reason. The roles that you don't book, that door is being closed to open a different door that you literally couldn't have even imagined existed.
So the role, like the mean girl role, was that a big, like how many episodes was that?
It was a co-star. It was 1 episode.
Exactly.
And now it's like a major recurring.
Right. Hearing this from me is like such a good reminder that every audition, every class, like everything that you're doing to better yourself and to further your career, even if you can't see the progress or the outcome, you have to trust that it is manifesting and people are taking notice. Literally. And you are growing, and it's just a matter of timing.
Even Riverdale, that's not the first time. Britta is not the first time I auditioned for Riverdale. I auditioned for, oh my God, you know, you haven't seen the season, right? So I don't, Riverdale fans like might know this. But there's this one girl, her name is Squeaky, and she was a waitress at Pops in like 1 episode, and they keep like they keep like circling back to that one scene, like showing flashbacks of it, because they're doing this whole storyline of like the lonely highway, and like there are girls that are going missing, and Squeaky is one of the girls that goes missing, and Tony is trying to find her. I auditioned for that character.
Wow.
In season 5.
That's crazy.
That was like maybe episode 4, I think, season 5, like 504. And then Britta was 6.
So you're having all the success now, but throughout your journey, and I'm sure you still can get frustrated and face hardships, what has kind of been the hardest part of following your passion?
I mean, so much of it is so hard. You know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about like the rejection. I guess one thing that has been hard is like reframing that in my head. Like knowing that it's actually not rejection. And I'm pretty good at like compartmentalizing too, doing an audition, knowing that I've done my best. But
when you get a no, then what does that mean to you if it's not like rejection? Yeah,
good question. It's like I said before, I think, where that role, for whatever reason, is just not meant for me. Like it wasn't mine to begin with, it was somebody else's. I only want to play roles that I'm meant for. I only want to play roles that I fit into. I would rather have a very long career of characters that make sense for me.
Of course. And you're able to bring your authentic truth to it.
Exactly.
Have you struggled with self-confidence?
Definitely. And more, I think, more self-trust than self-confidence for me in my acting and just in my regular life, just trusting that like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I deserve to be here. Trusting my instincts in terms of like a scene, or like on like really quick auditions like that where I can't get a coach, where it's literally just me and a friend like doing this tape, trusting that I know how to do this.
Yeah.
That I can do this. So that's something that I'm learning every day and will continue to learn, I think.
When or how did you have that realization where it's like, this is what I am meant to do and this is what I have to kind of devote my life to?
That's a really interesting question because I've been doing this for a really long time.
And we both started in theater so young, right?
Yeah, I started in theater and dance. At 4. And I've always I've loved it my entire life. I remember like dreaming, like when I was like really little, being like, oh, I want to be on Broadway. Just like dreaming of my future. Like when I was little, you know, I wanted to be Hannah Montana. I wanted to be Hannah Montana. Like I was obsessed when I was younger with all of those, like all those shows. And I wanted to be that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when I was in like late elementary and middle school, I would tell people when they asked me what I wanted to do, I would tell them that like I wanted to be a doctor. I would tell them that I wanted to be an anesthesiologist, because when people asked me that and that's what I responded, people were impressed. You know, really great aspirations or like strong career aspirations from like a young girl. But I knew that like I didn't actually want to do that. Like I knew I wanted to like be on Broadway. I just knew that if I said that, people would be like, oh, yeah, dream on, kid, you know? So I like said I wanted to be a doctor to like impress the adults in my life. And it wasn't until an older teenager, gaining more like independence or self-confidence, that I actually took ownership and was like, no, this is what I want to do.
But your parents have always known and supported you.
Oh my God, they've always been the most supportive. Yeah, and I don't think it was anything to do with them. It was just me convincing myself when I was younger that I needed to. And I mean, we're taught this at such a young age, not by our parents, but just by society, I guess, in general, of like certain things that we need to do to be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, like I said, it wasn't until I was a later teenager where I was like, no, like, I'm living my life for me. I'm not living my life for anybody else. I don't need other people to think I'm successful. Like, who cares? I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I try this, I will question my whole life. What if I became an actor? What if I tried this out and like if I didn't just go for it. Like I
I
would.
find it scarier to think about my life would be like if I wasn't following my passion and my gut. I
Yeah.
find that truly scarier because I think sometimes to myself, I am just following my passion completely. And I think a lot of people look at that and like, oh, where's the backup plan? Not that they don't believe in you, just because they're kind of more like realists. Oh, you have to have, a more like traditional, stable, whatever. For me personally, and I'm sure you can relate to this, and I'm sure people who watch this can relate, like,
Mhm.
I find that scarier because I know that that's not what I'm meant to be doing. And I
Yeah.
think that the
Yeah.
way to live your life is to the fullest is to be doing what truly makes you happy because when you are happy and just the best version of yourself, that's how you're able to spread your light to others, you know? I feel
Yes.
like for us, if it's in the theater, at a rehearsal, on set, when you're doing something that just makes you
That
hungry, but
fills
also
you up,
fills
makes
your
your heart
passion,
happy.
it
Yeah.
it it literally lights your inner light up, and then you spread that to others.
And
And
that's
if
what
you're in
inspires
a
other people.
exactly, and if you're in a place or doing something that isn't your full potential, that's just to me not the way to live. I
No.
feel that is a scarier life because you're always thinking, what would have happened if I just fully jumped,
For
you
it.
know?
I was actually just thinking this before you even started talking about it, and I completely agree with you, is
Mhm.
that it takes more courage to take ownership of what you really want to do
Mhm.
and to follow that passion no matter what anybody else says
Mhm.
than it does to do the job or the career or live the life that is right
Mhm. Or expected
or
or
expected.
normal or whatever.
Yeah.
Both of us always have just been in love with theater, always have been in love with acting and dance and had big dreams and believed in ourselves enough to like show up and follow those dreams, right? Like you have to believe in yourself to even show up to the audition.
Yeah.
And, I've had people ask me like, where does that come from? How can I teach that to my child? And
Yeah.
I don't know if that can be taught. I don't know where it comes from. I think about this all the time. I just feel so lucky to have so many passions and to
Yeah.
feel just so amazed and inspired literally every single day of my life to like learn as much as I can and absorb. And I'm actually currently trying to go to different types of shows. Like I just went to an improv show and I went and saw Hamilton again. And I'm just trying to like immerse myself in as much art as possible because I'm just so inspired. And I wonder when the pandemic hit and we couldn't go to the theater, we couldn't be on set, we couldn't do all these things. How did that affect your hunger for performing?
Yeah, I feel like it just made me appreciate it more.
Mhm.
When I
Yeah, I
was
feel
on
the same
set
way.
that first time, I just felt so grateful to be there. Not many people are getting to be artists right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
I am, and like that's really special.
Because I mean, for me, it made me feel even prouder to be an artist, especially in the thick of the pandemic. I know it wasn't as bad for
Gosh,
you,
it's what
but
people are relying on.
yes, absolutely. Like you turn to these shows, you fall into these character stories for like safety and comfort. And I just felt such an importance and I felt so proud to be someone who wanted to share stories and
Mhm.
connect to others. And I think the pandemic showed just how important art in all forms is, you
Yeah.
know?
I feel like I saw this like on like social media or something, and it's so true and it's so simple. But that, the people like doctors and scientists are who keep us alive, and artists and storytellers are the reason why we live.
Oh, 1000%.
And we need both.
We need, but
Like,
oh,
if science is
absolutely.
your passion, like go be a doctor. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like do that. Just the way that people have relied on stories to escape, to deal with whatever they're dealing with, especially during COVID, it has made me so grateful to be a part of that.
Mhm.
And it's made me realize how integral
Special.
it is.
Yes. Yes. It's
To
the way
people,
that humans connect.
literally.
I feel just so proud and inspired and amazed by theater. To me, there's no greater art form and no more beautiful way of storytelling than everyone gathering in a building and turning their
Oh my
phones
god.
off for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I just recently saw Hamilton, you know, we're all addicted to our phones, but especially over COVID. But the 2 hours of seeing Hamilton, I didn't even have an urge to like check Instagram or just, and I am amazed by how theater is able to just suck you in and literally transport you into a different universe. And I'm so just blown away and inspired and excited about theater and art in all forms. And I think, like you said, it's so just special to be a part of that.
Totally.
So for the viewers watching right now who either, I'm sure a lot of people right now are actors, are performers, are aspiring performers, want to do what we do, what advice would you give them and your younger self?
Ooh, trust yourself
Mm-hmm.
and trust the journey that you're on. You have what it takes, like inside of you. If you own that, it will take you really far.
And then how are you dealing with your mental health and physical health on this journey?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're on set and you're like so focused on like on where you want to be. One thing I found that's really important is remembering to stay grateful and present and aware of where I am now. Because I feel like, especially in this industry, it's always about the next big thing.
Yep.
Like, always thinking about the next booking, the next project, the next role, the next script that you read, the next audition, the next blah, 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 blah. It's so easy to lose sight of how great it is that you are where you are now. Right? Like, I mean, even I'm thinking about that. Like I had we both auditioned for this really incredible project a couple weeks ago, and I'm thinking about like, oh my God, it could be my first series regular role. It's so amazing. And I forget to think about myself a year ago would be so proud of where I am now. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind, that, you know, you've worked so hard to get to where you are. And although it's important to know what you want to do and to be aspiring to achieve other things, it is so important to take a look around and just realize how far you've come.
To wrap this up, what an incredible conversation. I'm so excited to share this. What are your goals for the future? Where do you see yourself moving forward?
Oh my gosh, I want to do everything. I don't want to limit myself.
Yeah.
I want to do everything. I want to do movies. I want to have my own TV show. I want to be on Broadway. I want to write something and produce it and direct it. And like I want to do everything. I'm just taking it one step at a time.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm so grateful our paths crossed.
Me too.
And I can't wait to see the rest of your incredible journey. I'll always be supporting you.
Oh my gosh, I love you.
Okay, thank you everyone so much for watching. Make sure to follow Kyra on Instagram at Kyra_Leroux. Thank you. Bye.